Hi, this is Doreen Velin from Process Art Discovery on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Okay, this is a piece that I did quite a few months ago, and I want to depict the Okanagan. So I put in the pine trees and the sunshine of the Okanagan, you know, the vineyards, which I'm sad about this year we're having a lot of trouble with, but our mountains are very colorful. If you look at our mountains as an artist would, in the Okanagan, we have very colorful hills around us. There are very, very, very many colors on them. And there's blues, and there's purples, and there's greens, and there's all kinds of colors on them. So we do have very colorful hills. We have a lot of rock in our hills, and maybe that's what that makes it happen. And then I want to depict the lake salmon. Those are actually rainbow trout, which I used to go fishing with my dad and go rainbow trout fishing. It's a very good fish to eat. So in my painting of this piece, I got to this point, and my husband was around and our daughter, and I said, what do you think? Do you think this is finished? And they said, yeah, just leave it. I said, you don't think it needs any sky? They said, no, it's finished. Well, I looked and looked and looked at this piece, and I knew it wasn't finished. I mean, I kept looking at it. In my eyes, it wasn't finished. Maybe in their eyes it was, but I put it up in a few bean scenes where we put our art up. Nothing, and I had deep people say, you know, just missing something. Yes, I think so, it's missing something. Number one, it needs a little bit of deep blue on the bottom of the cloud to tie in the cloud to the bottom. There's a lot of blue in there. This is a plain gray. So you want to get that touch of blue, which is a reflection of your water, in just the bottom of these clouds. I'm going to be doing that today. Also, I'm going to be doing this pale, pale blue, and even a little bit paler than that, and my sky is going to be the pale blue. I'm going to fill in this white and make it the pale, pale blue. But like the rest of the picture, if you see the rest of the picture, all has white differentiating between the different colors. I'm going to take some nice masking tape here. I got some really good quality masking tape that painters use. The problem is with different kinds of masking tape, some of them bleed, and I hate them. I've used this stuff before, and different brands, even the Frog brand, I find that it bleeds badly. And when I say bleeds, when you take it off, it's not a straight line, it's all like this, all the way down. So you gotta be careful. This I got now from Home Hardware. He promised me it's their own brand, it's called Beauty Tone. He promised me that it will come off and it also won't bleed, what I call bleed. So let's try it. First of all, I have to tape it, all the different places. Now I'm going to leave a white line, so the tape will be like this. It'll look kind of weird on the picture, but I have to leave that little white line. And I'm going to leave it the same distance all the way up. I'm not going to flare it up. The white line's not going to get wider up here. It's going to be parallel. So it'll be just the same width up here as it is down there. Okay, so let's start taping. Hi, I'm back. So this is what we've done now. So I taped it up. It was very hard to do because after the fact, I had to put this tape on top of the yellow in order to get my white line. So on some of these, I might have a wider white line than others. I can fix it later though. You can always fix everything with acrylic. It's pretty great. So I'm going to show you what I'm using here. I want it gray out. I want really pale blue. I want it paler than that. I might use a little bit to darken that. I'm not sure if that's great. And you know the secret to graying out blue, right? You've watched my videos, haven't you? And if you would have watched them, you would know what's the complementary color to blue is orange. So when you put blue and orange, a little touch of orange, you actually are graying out your blue. And what that does, it puts it in the distance. And since the sky is in the distance, that's what I want to do. So I don't have orange, I have yellow and red. And what do yellow and red make? Orange. Okay? So first of all, I think I'll use a palette knife for this, make my orange. I don't need that much red. Red, it takes very little red, it takes a lot of yellow, so I put too much red in there. I'm going to put some more yellow in that. So put some yellow over here. I just want a little bit. I don't need very much, but I want mostly, I want orangey. First I'll have to make the orange. I can't do it separately, at least I can't. That's a real pinky now. It's gone kind of pinky. Okay, there we go. Now I just put a little bit into my blue. First of all, I have to get the blue I want. This is going to gray it out a little bit. And I have to decide whether I want this blue or a bit deeper. I don't want deeper, so I don't want that blue. It's too dark. So I'm going to stick with this one. And I took a little bit of this orange. See how little I took? Very, very little. See how gray it is now? It's a lot grayer. Just grayed it right out. So all you're doing is a wee bit of that orange to gray it out. I don't want to gray it out too much. I don't want it gray like that. I want it blue. Okay, so so then I'll show you now. There's the blue, and that's a cloud. So you still can see the blue. It's blue, and that cloud is still gray. So that's fine. It's much blue. I could maybe put a touch here. A little bit there. Give it a little bit of pop. There it is. It's a bit bluer now. Okay, hope you can see that. Okay, so now it's just brushing it on. Now I have to remember, I want my white in here, so I don't go up to the cloud. I have to leave a space, because everything in this picture has a space. You see the space here between the yellow? I have to do the same way here. So I'm going to go like that. Leave my space. Leave my space. If I make a mistake, I can always go back. Now really, I should do a darker blue at the top, deepen it up a little bit, and I just might do that. We'll see. We'll see. Because you know your skies get darker at the top. The top of your picture should always be darker than the bottom, because we're trying to do a 3D on a 1D surface. And that's the way to do it, because the world is round. If you look at the very top of the sky at 12 o'clock, put your head right up and look at the top, you'll see it's darker blue. Then bring your head down towards the horizon, and you'll see a lighter blue. And that's how you create 3D on 1D, is do exactly that. We don't want a ridge there. Okay, nice soft blue. Baby blue. Well, it's a bit paler than baby blue. It's a grayed out baby. I did the bottom first. I love this brush. Can't buy them anymore, I don't think. Opus had them. Just love them. I have a different one now, but it's a great brush. Denman it's called. Oh, it's Opus. It says Opus right on it. I love it. Okay, there's a little bit of a cloud there. Take it right off the canvas. I've got my canvas going here. Down here. Never be afraid of acrylic because, you know, you just let it dry. That's the secret. Let it dry, paint over it, no problem. Sometimes I have like 4 or 5 layers on my canvas because you know, you don't like something or you think you made a mistake. There's no mistakes anyway in art. It's just the way you like it. So if you don't like it that way, just do it again. It's very forgiving, acrylic. Not like watercolor. If you do ever want to try watercolor and you've done it only acrylic, suggest you get good quality watercolors. Get a nice little palette. I think I showed you the Russian set that I bought at Opus, and it was, I go to Mexico or I go traveling with it, and it's a nice little set. It's good quality colors. The thing is with watercolor, you want decent quality, and it can dry up, you know, and you just put them in there and dry them up, and then you can use them anytime. Acrylic will dry up, you can't use it. Watercolor is the opposite. You just keep it, and you keep it there, and you let it dry up. I empty my whole tube onto a palette tray. It takes about 2 weeks to dry. And one thing about watercolor versus acrylic, it's the opposite. You don't have white in acrylic. White is your paper. So it's total opposite thinking. So if you want a challenge, it's a great way to challenge your brain. As you pick up watercolor, now you're painting opposite what you did with acrylic. And you always work from the lightest to the darkest in watercolor, because you can't go over it as much. It's not as easy to go over as acrylic. I like this better already. So if you want to see some of my art, it's at Bean Scene. Right now, I'm at Ellis and Doyle, and I'll be there till the end of the month. You can always get a hold of me by email. My email is dsvelin, VELIN, at hotmail.com. I have my so-called makeshift studio here in my small home, and you can always come and see my art if you're interested. I want to thank Lorenz. If it wasn't for Lorenz doing this, my lovely videographer here, I would not be doing this right now, and you would not be seeing any of this. So if you've gotten any tips from what you're seeing me do, I suggest you watch Process Art. And if you want to even do something like I'm doing, give Lorenz a call. I'm sure he has his number on there. And his fees are very, very low. And you too can be a YouTuber. I never thought I could be. I never thought in the world that I'd ever do this. It's fun. Well, most of the time it's fun. Most of the time. All the time is fun. Getting towards the top, I think I'd like to put a little bit more blue in it. A bit more color at the top. See if I can blend it in a bit. I would just put a bit more blue into this. Deepen it up a little bit. Put a little bit of tip of your brush in the water just to kind of help you blend the colors a bit. Remember, don't leave lines. Go right from the edges like that so you don't have a line. Other one. You know, the more you practice at painting, the more confident you get. I'm not saying you get any better, but you get more confident. And that's really important. You know, when you paint with fear, the fear comes through your brush. So you want to just paint. So paint to your level. Don't pick something right off the bat that's totally like, oh, I'd like to paint my grandmother. Like, you don't do that at the beginning. No way. Just won't cut it. You'll just feel like a failure. Won't turn out because her eyes won't be right. Everybody say, oh, you got it okay, but her eyes aren't very good. Or something like that. That's not her mouth. And then it defeats you. So you don't want that. So be sure to paint something within your scope that you feel comfortable with. You want to feel comfortable because that's where your confidence comes from. So when you're comfortable, you can get confident because you know you did a good job and it's your level. So, you know, keep working and practicing and until you get that confidence. And remember, it's just practice. You know, it's not talent. Everybody says, oh, you're so talented. Well, that is so silly. It's not talent. Just when I learned to play my accordion, and you probably hate to hear it out of me, but you know what, you wouldn't want to hear me play my accordion. Nobody does. But the thing is, you only get what you put into it. It's not talent, it's hard work. Just like playing an instrument. Same thing. It's like being a football player, or a basketball player, or whatever you want to be. If you don't put the hard work into it, you'll never be good. Same with art. You have to just work at it. But I think learning to be an artist, or learning to do good art, is more fun than learning to play basketball. I'm kind of short, so nobody really wanted me on their basketball team. Let's dry it up a little bit here. There. Got it now. It's pretty lit. Let's see. Yep. I think that's done. Okay. Now we'll take off the bandages and see what damage we've done. Sound good? Okay. Some bluish gray just to show you what we're going to do to this cloud. I'll go a touch blue now. When I want it, it's called glazing. When you go on top of another color and you want sort of a bit of a transparency to happen, it's called glazing. So you want to use lots of water and little paint. So I'm using lots of water and very little paint. And it should almost, see, it's kind of almost like watercolor. It goes really watery and liquidy, and it'll let that gray show through. This is called glazing. See? You see the gray through it? And that's what you want. Have that little bit of transparency. And you can glaze many coats. You can let this dry. You can actually do another coat if you want to do a bit more glazing than that. So it's like watercolor. You don't want a line, you want it to kind of blend in. Just putting a little blue hue in it. That's all. Just a touch. Just a touch. Just like that. There you go. This got a bit of a line. That's just water. That's just because it's wet. That line should disappear when it dries. Yeah, oh, I like this cloud. It's good. I'm looking at it upside down though. Okay, so all it is now is just really correcting. No use filming it, but I have this stripe a little bit wider in this stripe, so I might have to just go back and correct this again. I have to wait for it to dry. Then put the tape on. Two sides of it now. I'd put the tape on this side on the yellow and a tape on the blue when it's dry, and then I can do my white stripe. I can paint my white stripe again. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I think this is a lot better. It's got more color to it. It now doesn't look dead looking, the sky, and yeah, I feel a lot better about it. So I want to thank you for joining me. This is it. Happy sailing. Thanks for watching on Process Art Discovery today. I want to ask you to just subscribe, and you'll see lots of tips and ideas for art, whether you are an artist already or whether you're just starting. It doesn't matter. Subscribe. We'll have fun together. Thanks.